3, 2, 1, fire.
The United States completely denies any involvement in the incident in Costa Verde. The Global Response and Intelligence Team is an enemy of the United States of America. Anyone involved in this terrorist false flag organization will be hunted down and will face the consequences.
Where is Brandon Beckett? Is he still alive?
What the hell am I doing here?
You're being detained under the Patriot Act.
That's for terrorists.
Hello, Zero. Where's my son?
There's been an attack. Over 50 Phoenix rebels were killed in the raid. 3 were taken hostage.
Give me Brandon Beckett. I'll give you an honorable death.
Why would they kill 50 unless they want us to go back to Costa Verde? This is a trap.
Tell me everything Beckett taught you. When he comes for you, what's he gonna do?
You really think you can take on the Iron Legion on your own?
We faced worse odds,
You guys just barely made it back across the border alive.
but we're going in.
One shot, one kill. Let's get to work.
3, 2, 1, fire. So we can't go home after everything we've done for our country.
There is no going home. You're a man of no nation, Brandon Beckett.
Hope you enjoyed the show, Brandon. You're next.
What is up, everybody? It's the Action Fix with John Jerva. I am your host, John Jerva. Of course, it's me. And I have a special episode. As you all know, the annual holiday has commenced where a sniper film comes out, a new sniper film comes out. So it's every year. It's like the action series that doesn't end, and I'm all for it. And you know, the man to the right of me needs no introduction. But you know what? I'm going to give him an introduction anyways because he damn well deserves one. He is the sniper himself, Brandon Beckett, Chad Michael Collins. Chad, welcome back to the show. How are you doing since we last talked?
I'm doing great, John. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And, you know, we've been pushing for a federal holiday, you know, for the sniper movie release just about annually every year. But so far, the U.S. Gov has been ignoring us.
Listen. We could go into that, but we won't go into any politics or anything.
We're just trying to get everyone a day off here, you know.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Like, listen, and I joked about you in the past because we talked about it in the past how it's like you guys like film this stuff under the radar. Nobody knew it would be coming, and also like I would go on like online. I'd be like, and then I get mad at you, be like, "Yo, what's up?" Like, little heads up, you know. It's like,
above my pay grade.
Yeah, you did give us a little heads up this time because, like, after Sniper: The Last Stand came out last year, you did a little Instagram or something where you were already saying that you were filming another Sniper movie. And now the day has come. It came out yesterday, Sniper No Nation. And I got to say, Chad, they're doing your character wrong. First, Sniper Assassin's End, you get framed, and now you get disavowed. Like, seriously, like, give us your first, because I'm going to talk about The Last Stand too, because I got sick when we were supposed to talk about that last year, and I got mad because I couldn't do it, and then we didn't hook up. But first of all, let's talk about No Nation. So talk about bringing Brandon Beckett back, and like after all these years, this is number 12, number 9 for you. Like how has the character evolved? How has he gone from Reloaded to now?
Oh man, it's been wow. That's it's been quite a character arc, John. You're talking 16 years from 2010 to 2026 now with the 9th film. So it's been an absolute blessing. You know, when we first met Brandon out in the wild, he was an infantry grunt, and then he gets taught how to pick up the long gun and join the likes of his father and the great Billy Zane playing Richard Miller. And ever since then, he's been in all sorts of global affairs. And to answer to your point earlier about how does he find himself in this mess, I suppose when you start to involve governments and political intrigue and international incidents, it's an occupational hazard that you might get slightly burned at times. I'm sure he would just like to have target, go home.
Well, if anything, like people should see like your resume of what Brandon Beckett has done for the country. It's just been like, you know what, this probably isn't true. You know, it's like whatever.
Can I get a pass? Can I at least get probation?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, you can just slap, like a slap on the wrist or something. But let's
hmm
talk about The Last Stand first, because that came out last year. Like I said, we were supposed to hook up and talk, and of course, I got super sick, and we weren't able to. But it made my list of best action movies of 2025 because that movie was sick, sir. So, like, I mean, not that the other sniper movies in the past, but I like how the movies evolve, like how you do try different things. Like Rogue Mission kind of went off a little off on another course a little bit,
hmm
with the tone and everything. But The Last Stand was probably my favorite of. I mean, you can't beat Tom Berenger's original and
No,
everything, but
no,
at
you
the
can't.
same time, probably out of your movies that you've done with the sniper films, just like how has it been since The Last Stand, and like what has like what I'm trying to say is like how was it the feedback to that film?
Yeah, I mean, you so generously ranked it in your top 10, top 20 for best action movies of 2025, which we appreciate. We strive for excellence over here, working with what little we get to make these movies. But you're right. There's been a tone shift. It used to be a lot of one-off stuff. Brandon go on a mission. Either Thomas Beckett or Richard Miller would come back, help us out a little bit. Then maybe we'd see him again. Maybe we wouldn't on the next one. But then we went into that interesting block that started with Assassin's End, like 2020, and that was Oliver Thompson wrote that, and then he directed the next two, Rogue Mission, and then of course Grit. Very different tone, very different shift. Obviously, you still had the shootouts and all the heavy action, but way more snappy, quick-witted. A lot of fun. I had such a blast making those movies. Perhaps a little bit of a tangent, a departure from what you're used to seeing in these movies with the soberness of the righteousness and the seriousness of these things. So it's been fun to kind of get back to the gritty realism while also kind of keeping those amazing characters he created alive and well, and staying in pocket. Zero, Ryan Robbins, of course, my right hand man, is still with us. So Last Stand turned out really, really well, and we kind of got back into that gritty realism with some high stakes craziness, and we apparently we left a bit of a mess behind on that job in Costa Verde. So that's what's the blowback is what we're facing here as we try to extract from there in that Black Ops mission, and then we kind of get caught up in this horrible situation here where we're disavowed by our country, and the U.S. doesn't want anything to do with this because we got caught. We're not supposed to. We're supposed to go ahead and get out and not leave anything behind except a win. So so we have to figure out how to get out of Costa Verde, how to get our names cleared, while also helping the rebellion throw like a tyrannical prime minister overboard. But of course, he brings in the Iron Legion, a group of gnarly mercenaries to come take us out. I figured I had to wear my Iron Legion hat here because it's such
I
a darn
noticed
cool
that.
logo,
Yeah, yeah.
and fantastic villains being introduced into our sniper franchise. So yeah, like you said, it's a new thing for us. It's a direct continuation from The Last Stand and the cliffhanger there, and getting right back into the events right where we left off, and exploring that all the way through in Sniper No Nation.
Yeah, so again, just real quick, and then we'll hit No Nation Hard. Just the ending of The Last Stand, like that was just like 45 minutes of pure action orgasm. Like it was just like it was firefights, it was hand to hand. Listen, and it kind of rolls over to this film, but you can never have too many fights with axes. I'll take fights with axes all day and every day and twice on Sunday. So
Yeah,
just
yeah,
talk
that was
about real
amazing.
quick about that finale and shoot. Was that probably like one of the hardest like sequences? I mean, I'm sure like it happened over a course of some days and stuff like that,
Mhm.
but that was pretty involved. That was probably the most involved action sequences I'd say out of
Yeah.
any sniper franchise.
Yeah, I mean, it was really, we set up an Alamo situation where we were
Yes.
defending a massive courtyard in an old school fortress in Costa Verde. And then, of course, we just get waves and waves of hostiles coming at us. And so we have to do everything we can to improvise explosives and kill zones and everything else too, and use what limited resources we have to fend off the invading army, the militia. So it was a lot of fun. I mean, all credit to our great producer, Daniel over at Sony, and our great writer, producer, Sean Wathen, who not only wrote Last Stand, but wrote Sniper No Nation. And then, of course, our director, Danishka Esterhazy. I hope I'm not mispronouncing her last name. It's complicated. But yeah, you got to be on top of that stuff. There was a lot of stuff going off, a lot of shells being expended, a lot of booms, a lot of explosions, and all credit to those wizards for tracking all that stuff down. And I think we did most of that finale shootout stuff over maybe 2 days. That's it. And so it takes a lot of calculation, a lot of really great organization and execution to pull that stuff off. So
And it was like, and you just said that Denise got like she's the first female director of this type, and it's just funny how because I had some people come back at me like like why is a woman like why not? Have you ever heard of
what
Lexi
doesn't
Alexander?
matter.
She did Punisher Warzone. It's like
Mhm.
it's like women can do action just like men can, sir. It's
Yep.
like but it was just like because when it was happening, I had to like go back and watch it again when the movie was over because it was just such a phenomenal sequence. And then, sir, you get shot, and you're just like, yeah, and I knew, like, listen, there's like maybe a little hint of, oh, maybe this is a last stand type of thing, like like this,
Yeah.
like they're gonna end the series here, and like they're gonna
Mm.
go down swinging and stuff like that. But of course, that doesn't happen. You survive, Zero survives, and a few others survive. And like I like No Nation because you guys, it starts right after, like you said, and you guys are trying to get home, and you're on that boat. And of course, you guys go on
Mhm.
the boat, and things happen, and then of course you have to defend yourselves and everything. So talk about just jumping right in and like with that sequence.
Yeah, I love that it was a direct continuation. Like you said, at the end of that movie, we kind of get saved by the Phoenix Rebellion coming in there to help us clean up the rest of the mess. And then we exfil. We're supposed to hop on a boat, which leads to another boat, which leads to hopefully a trip home for some R&R and some proper surgery as
And
Brandon gets gut.
if you didn't drop the grit patch, you probably none of this
Hold on, don't
probably
look at
would
me,
have
John. I didn't
happened.
drop it.
Yeah, right.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, exactly.
I unfortunately fell off Zero's tack vest.
Yeah, I know. Like,
So
well, he's not here to defend himself.
I
So
know.
that's
So let's
yeah.
throw him under the bus while he's not
Yeah,
here.
right,
I love you,
exactly.
Ryan
Let's do it. Like,
Robbins.
way to go, Zero.
We
Like,
won't be too
you,
harsh.
you had one job and you failed. Like,
We had one job. So yeah, we're on that boat, and Brandon's gut shot, and we're all a little beat up from all the heavy action. And it turns out that things don't go so smoothly. We kind of get attacked on our way to this exfil, and stuff goes foobar, as they say, from there.
yeah. So let's talk about Ryan Robbins. He's one guy I would love to talk in the future because he seems like a fun guy.
We
So
can
so
make
you
that
got
happen.
yeah. So are you guys like as tight as you are off screen as you are on screen?
Yeah, I mean, we stay in touch. He's up in Canada. I think
He's
the
Canadian.
Vancouver
Is he
area.
Canadian?
He
Is he?
is. Yes, he
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so yeah, we've done. My gosh, we were introduced to Agent Zero all the way back in Sniper Assassin's End. So
Exactly. Yep.
a
Yep.
number of movies ago. So this is what his fifth return, and he's basically my co-lead. He's my right hand man. Agent. Brandon and Zero now are thick as thieves for very good reason. And he's been a welcome addition. We joke that I'm the lightning, he's the thunder. He makes things go boom up close and personal. And I always love watching his action sequences and the way that they use his character. Very rough and tumble, very in your face, very dirty boxing, very, very improvised, gnarly stuff that you'd see in the WWE a lot of the time. So it's a fun compliment to Brandon running and gunning and shooting from afar, and trying to use his wits and his speed a little bit more.
And listen, like that's to say, like, because I'm jealous because because like you're jacked, he's jacked. Do you guys have arm wrestling contests like on set? Do you like or like bicep
No.
contests? Do you like
I'm not. I don't want to lose $20 to Ryan Robbins trying to arm wrestle him. So
like
we've never
he
we've
did
never
that
gone
in the
there.
movie. Like I was like, damn, that boy's been
No,
pumping
he's
some weights, man.
he's a beast, man. I mean, look, can you give me brains and I'll give him brawn? Is that cool?
Listen, your shirt's off at the end of the movie, and I was just like, I wish, like, even when I was your age, I mean, I kind of little bit, but not that much, not that much. Now, I kind of like say you guys are like the Tango and Cash of this generation. I like that's the best compliment I can give you guys because it's like when you find like a duo and like you just run with it and you go with it, and that's like I like Sony's doing and what they're doing with you guys because like obviously when you started it was you and then there'd be some people here some people, but it only like you said it'd be like a one-off. You'd be like you team up with a few people here, a few people there, but then with Assassin's End that's when it really took off. And I like how it's like an ensemble now and you guys are kind of like the yin and yang.
Yeah, we're the Grit Squad, the Global Response and Intelligence Team. So Intel Pete has come back for a few. Lady Death's been with us for a number of these movies. We had the Colonel there, but unfortunately, Grit's been very compromised. So as they say, everybody's in the wind except for me and Zero, boots on the ground in Costa Verde. So who knows? Maybe we'll see those characters return again. Maybe we won't. But I think it was a really fun moment in time, and as an actor, it's a blast to be able to work with a character again and again and again, because you get to build that camaraderie, you get to build that shorthand, you get to enjoy the little zippy one-liners here and there that the our awesome writers are always quick to give us and to have fun with. So Ryan's he's a gamer, man, and me and him are old goats, but we're still out there fighting the good fight and putting our bodies through hell because we absolutely enjoy it. Every time we're done with one, we always text
It's
each other, "When's the next one?" Let's go. We're ready.
I mean, yeah, I know you. I'm sure you guys get sore and like bruised up and everything because that's the one thing I like about these movies. Is like, of course, we're in the era of CGI and superhero movies and stuff like
Mhm.
that. I love it because I'm old school. You know me for years, and I'm the practical action, explosions, real cars blowing up, bullet squibs and stuff like that. So that's why I like that snipers keep it in tune with that. Would you agree?
Yeah, and we filmed in Cape Town. Not only The Last Stand, but we went back there to do No Nation, and they were pretty friendly to us. We had an amazing armor, Lance Peters and his guys. We were able to shoot some live rounds, and also not while filming, of course, but just to warm up and get feels for the
Right.
weapons. But
Right. At
that'd be a
targets, at
yeah,
targets.
that'd be a
Yes.
different kind of movie. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
they let us a lot of blanks and stuff like that. Switch out for the airsoft when we're doing the hand-to-hand fight stuff with guns and weapons in our hands. So it just adds so much to it. And apparently, that's a very friendly place to be able to do that with the professionals that we work with down there. So between them and Stuart Will and Annalie and all the amazing people that put together the stunts, we work with the same amazing stunt crew who would often run B camera, for a lot of the action sequences, and they just delivered. They put together amazing choreography that fits the soldiers and fits the unique styles that me and Zero have, and are very open to feedback and everything for tweaking certain things. Especially when I can't throw a kick over someone's head, so they're very cool about that. So, yeah, man, they got everybody dialed in, and credit to the rest of the cast. A lot of those were local South African hires, and they absolutely brought the A game. And we're total gamers for the fight stuff as well, which is always very cool to see.
Now, in like again, going back like all these years from Reloaded to now, so like how like as a tactical technician. Now, of course, you're an actor. You're not, you're not like a real military guy. But like, how do you think you've evolved as a military actor? Like going from Reloaded to now. Do you think would you give yourself an A? Like, what would you grade yourself like now? Put you on the
I
spot.
think I think the standards are pretty low for actors, and
Yeah.
we don't have the budget of a massive military action film like a War Machine or an Extraction or anything like this that you'd see. So we don't unfortunately get a whole week or 2 weeks of boot camp to kind of get us into the mindset and put us through the paces a little bit. That'd be fantastic. But we do get some days on the range that they build in for us. And I mean, look, the armorers and the technical advisors and a lot of the stunt guys, they've often served. So to be
Right.
able to just constantly pick their brains all through the years has really helped me out a lot. And we want to pay service and homage to the real veterans that go out there and do it for real. So we want it to look as real and authentic as possible. So I don't know. I'd give myself a BB plus. Very much pretend player, very much a pretend soldier. But I do try to make things at least look good, even if I can't
Listen,
actually hit the broadside of a barn.
So- but no, I can tell, because of course you do the video games and everything, so you get to deal with a lot of that. So
Yeah.
from throughout the years, I can tell you've definitely especially now, it's like how you handle yourself, like how you handle the weapon, because everybody knows there's certain ways, like when you're
Yeah.
clearing a room or when you're evac or something like that. I mean, you could tell that you put the work in, and that's what I really love about these films because again, though some of those older films are fun to watch and stuff like if you watch like Navy SEALs with Charlie Sheen and Michael B. I love that movie. I watched it 1,000 times, but it's like, it's like you can tell they were just like they were throwing stuff on the wall and seeing what stuck,
Right.
it was good. But again, no shade on that. I love that movie. But of course, we see, and I'm gonna pop this up here for us. This guy comes back. We all know who
Hey-o.
this guy is. And as I'm talking to you, I just debuted on my YouTube channel an official clip from No Nation. So I'm going to play it here for you, sir, and you're going to get the yeah, right? It's like I'm prepared, sir. I'm prepared. So yeah, so let's check this out, and then you could talk a little bit about again working with Tom, the great Tom Berenger, and what he brings to the series.
All right, I got my popcorn ready.
Hang on, I gotta get my volume going here. Hang on. We'll do this. Here we go. All right, there we go. So like the audio is not working, but you get the general gist. So that's
I know,
right?
Good acting.
It's like
can you understand what's going on without any dialogue?
I know, right? It's like you just got to come on with like and just so I'm going to try to get the sound here for you. So just bear with me for 1 second here. So I want to know why my volume wasn't coming up.
I'm a boomer, as the kids say, so technically I can't help you out
here.
Here
we go. Anyways, okay, all right. So Netflix, or not Netflix, YouTube has switched it up here a little bit, and it is on the top now. So that's why I didn't see it. So don't worry, I'll edit that first 2 minutes out, and then we'll go from there. Here we go.
I'm asking you how hard this car. We can slam it in reverse. We can ram our way out of here.
We aren't going to win
Hang on.
this one, son. Give me.
All right, now I got it.
Left. I'm asking you how hard this car. We can slam it in reverse. We can ram our way out of here.
We aren't going to win this one, son. Give me. Give me. No matter what happens, just stay strong. Hear me?
I should have seen this coming. I'm sorry, Dad.
Go, Brandon. Go.
We're just together.
So what happens next? So okay, so I'm going to get a little spoilery here. Okay, so that's towards the end of the movie, and a lot of crap has happened since then. So that's kind of like again, if you could say like another Last Stand type of scenario that you guys are running into in that aspect. But before we talk about that, let's talk about Tom Berenger again, the iconic Tom Berenger, the man, the myth, the legend, the man who's starred in so many films, but of course is the OG sniper. So talk about. Like, did you ever think like you'd work with him once, let alone all these times, like throughout these movies?
It's still very much pinch me. Not only to be doing all these sniper movies, but even to do one. And of course, to work with legends like Tom Berenger, Billy Zane, Dennis Haysbert. We've had an amazing roster of incredible actors that have joined us on these films. So it's been fantastic because I grew up being huge fans of all of them. Tom with Platoon, obviously, Major League. And The Big Chill. I mean, there's been so many. I'm forgetting more than I can remember at this point. So anytime Tom comes back, and we haven't had him back since
the Substitute.
Assassins. Well, The Substitute, fantastic. Assassin's End in 2020, I think, was the last time we saw Tom and Brandon and Thomas Beckett getting back together. So it's been about 5-6 years. So it was absolutely incredible to work with him again and take our relationship to the next level. Every time he pops up on screen, we get to explore Brandon and his father's relationship a little bit more deeply, sharing a little bit more about our past and our common bonds, and of course do some elite soldiering together too. The icing on the cake.
Right. So and then let's talk. So I'm going to show some images here. So I like this shot right here. I'm going to put up here. So give me 1 second here. There you guys are. I love that shot. That's you, and of course Ryan Robbins is 0.
Yeah, you see why I don't arm wrestle Ryan Robbins.
Yeah, like
Look at that.
And
Setting
what I love
pose.
about him, he's like a short guy like I am. He's probably still taller than I am because I'm super short. But like he's putting in a good name for like the shorter guys and everything. So again, these are some images that we got going on. So there's Mr. Berenger, and again, this is again towards the end of the movie. Like, and what I loved about the ending of this one, and again, I'm gonna go into a little spoiler situation here. So hopefully everybody there you go. So if you have not seen, if you have, yeah, right, yeah, like if you have not seen the movie, hit mute, go or stop, go watch it, and then come back and listen to the rest of this. So what I loved about, because like you guys are both set up in your perches and you guys are both taking shots at the same time. So I love that aspect of the finale. So talk about you two sniping at the same time. So that was pretty cool.
What I thought was really fun about that whole sequence towards the end of the movie and the final shootout is, we're there to sabotage, we're there to ambush, and Brandon calls the shots. And in other movies, you'd see Thomas Beckett leading the way and guiding and directing Brandon. And so I'm the team leader on this, and I set everyone up in their strategic positions. I give the order to fire, and up for everybody's corresponding sectors and everything. So I thought it was a really fun reversal, the evolution of Brandon and Thomas and here. And obviously Thomas Beckett comes back out to help his son out of a very sticky situation, being disavowed by the U.S., being hunted by the Prime Minister of Costa Verde, etc. So it was very cool of him to come help out his boy as a good dad would, right? So that sequence was fantastic. I mean, anytime you get to see Tom behind the old long gun, it's gonna hit you right in the feels, the nostalgia feels. So that was really fun. And obviously, I'm not there that day. I'm up somewhere else on top of some other rooftop. So I don't get to be there with Tom for those things, as you'd imagine, and I don't get to see it. So oftentimes when I watch this movie, it's the first time I'm seeing Ryan's fights. It's the first time I'm seeing Tom do his thing behind a long gun and everything else too. So it's a real treat for me too.
That's true, because we don't think about that, because of course, like when they're filming like Ryan's fights and stuff, like you're not going to be unless you're like you're off to the side watching or something like that. But yeah, you never, like Tom did that and then you did yours, so it's like you're not really talking to each other per se, but movie magic puts it together. Yeah, so that's kind of neat that you said that, because we don't think about stuff like that. So that was
whenever I'd have an off day, rare as they were, I was either resting and recovering, or I was back with the stunt guys in their dojo, in their gym, putting together the choreography for the next thing we get up to. We had a lot in this one, and I mean, obviously we have a choreographed sparring session. Me and Zero chopping it up, talking about life, talking about missions, talking about existential questions while we hit each other in the face or try not to get hit in the face. Everybody's got their own big final fisticuffs battle that is become a new signature of the sniper movies. Everybody gets their turn to do the dance, so to speak. Yeah. So we have a lot of stuff that we're constantly learning when we have a little bit of downtime, which is pretty rare in these shoots, but a lot of fun. So I do get to see these things for the first time in the finished product, and I'm always blown away. Everybody does a great job.
So when's the first time you saw No Nation? When's the first time you got to sit down and actually watch the whole thing?
A couple Fridays ago, actually, is when I got to see the finished version. I come in and I do like an hour or 2 hours of some voice cleanup. It's called ADR, voice looping. So when post-production, when they've got the edit nailed down and they're still putting the finishing touches on everything, they'll call the actors in if there's any dialogue that's not clean, or an off-camera line that they need for plot points and stuff like that. And my favorite, that's a joke, I'm being very sarcastic here, efforts. Got to do efforts in the booth. So, you'll have a 2-minute fight scene, and then you got to do all that sort of stuff as well to give the sound.
So they make you grunt like when you're fighting, like to clean up your grunting when you're fighting and stuff like that.
Yeah, and to embellish certain moments and also get it clean, because we're all mic'd up and everything during those fight sequences, of course, but there's a lot of contact, there's a lot of pulling on the costume, and so that can really distort the sound. Sometimes it doesn't pick up as much with all the moving around and slamming on the ground and stuff like that. So you go in there and you add a little bit of extra oomph in the sound booth there, that they can build up, I suppose, the tension and just have it.
Another like when you get hit. It's like, yeah, that was a good one. Like now, are you like I talk to a lot of actors, of course, and stuff like that. Now, do you like watching yourself? Like, do you watch your movies, or are you the kind of guy like you know what I'm going to watch it once just to check it out or type of thing? Or so, but I mean, I wouldn't feel any different. Like you said, you know what? I love to watch my movies. I love to watch me because I put in the work. I did it. I would if I thought about it. So
Yeah, I got to be honest. I love watching these things more than anything else
the
because
sniper movies. So yeah,
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 I'm so close with everyone, and
yeah.
there's nothing like making a movie. I mean, really, it's just you get about a month, maybe 5 weeks, and you really become a little family, and you get so close to everybody, and there's such an appreciation fest. So to watch everybody's good work and to celebrate that, and to have a smile on my face the entire time. It's also like a video journal. You really, every scene that you shoot, you remember which day you were. You remember the location you were going to. You remember the interactions, or maybe the fun stories or the bloopers that happened, the unfortunate incidents as well. So it really is a walk down memory lane to be able to watch the finished product and not only see things that I wasn't there for, but also to be able to kind of celebrate the amazing thing that we all came together to do. So personally, I don't like watching me all that much. I do like to see how it comes together, maybe just once, and then maybe I'll try to find some stuff that I can
Yeah,
pull
I
out
didn't
for
think
an
it was.
acting reel. But I don't watch
I
more than once usually.
because yeah, I would say it's a vain thing. Like it's like because like if I like listen, if I made action movies like you did, I'd be like, you know what, this is I
Yeah.
like come on. It's like look at you, like you're an action star, man. It's
Yeah.
like
It's hard because I don't think there's an actor out there who wants to do the best job they can that won't watch things again and again and again and
right.
get very nitpicky and hindsight like, oh, I should have delivered the line that way. Oh, I should have done this sort of stuff better. I was like, oh, I wish we did another take on that little fight sequence beat, that little moment there. So I'm very good about letting that stuff go and not getting too in my head and everything. But yeah, it's fun, man. I really do enjoy watching the finished product and taking it in and celebrating everybody's good work.
Now let's talk about this guy,
Oh
Killian
yeah.
Kruger. Like,
Yeah.
who's the actor who plays this again? Sorry, it escapes my mind who it is.
His name is Brandon Orette. Hope
Yeah.
I'm not. He's a South African
Yes.
local actor
Yeah.
down in Cape Town. Absolutely amazing find. This guy was fantastic, really. And he's the Iron Legions. The main antagonist that we face. Him and his armored up, masked up band of baddies. Very vicious, very sadistic, as you can imagine. My boy, he brought his A game. He was such a discovery. I can't give him enough credit. I really love watching his scenes. They let him really ham it up and chew up that scenery in those scenes, and it played so well. Very talented dude and a total gamer.
Yeah, and it's not a spoiler because it's in the trailer, but yeah, he's the one that Zero takes on, like because
Yep,
it shows him in the trailer. Yeah, and that was a phenomenal fight, boy. That was a pretty kick ass. Because
it was a good one.
I'm a martial artist, so I like the extreme stuff, but I like the stripped down, gritty, like in your face type of drugged out type of fights too. So I mean, and you get one too. You get like the guy with the hair, the mop hair. Like I don't know like who that guy was, but like that guy was huge, and that fight was awesome because like again, I've seen a lot of fights. I've done a lot of fight choreography myself, like when I was training and doing tournaments and stuff like that. I love when I see new things, and your fight with that guy. And again, I don't know what his name is, of course, but he's one of the Iron Legion
Mhm.
soldiers. But because you run down, and again, hang on a second. Spoilers. All right. So if you've not seen the movie, do not listen from this time on. You because you're up on your perch, but then you come down and because you gotta get on the action because you can't just stay up there sniping people. You got to beat people up too. But that fight, talk about doing that fight scene and the choreography because there's a lot of MMA stuff going on. There's a lot of intricate locks, joint manipulation, and that's where I get excited. Is like when I see stuff like that. So talk about that.
Well, I'll give you a little bit of movie trivia here. That actor is named Shane Kruger. He's fantastic, and he's pretty much the same height and the same build as Ryan Robbins. So on the last movie when we filmed in
Oh
Cape Town, he's Ryan's stunt double.
no,
And I've got a
seriously.
great stunt double. Yeah, Stuart Will stands in for me sometimes, and a great actor named DeVille. I'm forgetting his last name right now, but he was technically my double. We had some people come in for some of the moves. Well, it's 95% me and Ryan doing this sort of stuff, but we do have those doubles for those particular situations,
Right.
where they really don't want us to do it because we get pretty messed up because we're clearly not stunt professionals. So, but I get to tangle with Shane. He's fantastic. They threw a fun wig on him. It reminded me of the dwarves from Lord of the Rings. It looked really wild, like just absolutely wild. But he's a total pro, man. You've seen him pop up in all sorts of movies that come through the Cape Town, South Africa corridor. He's been in everything. He's very, very good, and he is a beast. He is absolutely an ox of a man. So that fight scene, he was very generous to let me pretend like I could actually move him and hurt him. I don't think that would play out that way in real life, as with all stunt guys. But
Yeah.
we had a fun knockdown drag out, and yeah, we take it to the ground. Rifles, pistols, punches, elbows, knees, kicks, flips. He pulls a knife, pulling a gun, all sorts of stuff that happened there. Which is, the chaos that you would imagine when you get down on the battlefield and you use whatever's at your disposal to try to get the advantage and stay alive before the next hostile comes at you.
And I love how you get one of the best kills in the movie too, because like again, spoiler, like because when you're fighting, not only do you stab the guy in the back of his neck, but then like he falls to the ground and you shoot him right between his chest plate.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's badass. That's just like, and
Yeah,
I love your
yeah.
reaction. It's like you're just like it's like a big sigh of relief. You're just like, holy shit! Like what the hell
Right.
just happened?
Yeah, fights
You
are not
just got
supposed
right
to
over.
last that long.
Yeah.
Usually in a street fight, it's over in 10 to 15 seconds. Hopefully you're on the winning end. But these things go on for minutes at a time. It's exhausting.
Exactly. All right. So how much time do you got, by the way? So I don't want to keep you too long.
I'm all yours, man. We got to make up for missing you on the last
Oh,
movie,
well,
brother.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. So again, okay. So I'm going to go into, okay. I want to also go, you're a G.I. Joe fan, are you not? Correct?
I am.
Yes. Because as you know, I'm a huge G.I. Joe fan. And actually, I'm starting up a new podcast called Yo Joe Zone, where it's going to be
Oh.
total G.I. Joe. So if you ever have
Fun.
free time, you may be
Okay.
a guest celebrity on that. The invitation is always open to
I'll
you.
come, nerd. I'll bring some of my fun stuff.
Yes,
Like my
yes,
graded
please.
G.I. Joe #1. I've got all sorts of fun stuff.
Absolutely. And okay, because I'm getting like a G.I. Joe vibe, like with these last few films, and because like you even got like you need a call sign note because he's got zero. We all know you're Brandon Beckett, but we got to give you a call sign too, or like a code name too, because I'm getting because like we're talking about the Iron Legion, they're like the Dreadnoks, like they look
Right.
like they're like Zartan should be, like it looks like Killian Kruger could be like Zart, just put the the veil
Yeah.
over him, with the eyes and everything. But that's the sense I was getting. Did you kind of think about that too, or am I just reaching for things?
No, I had a number of the Dreadnought figures growing up.
Yes.
The OG line of GI Joes, for sure. But they were absolutely wild characters, especially in the cartoons and everything. So yeah, they kind of made them crazy looking, like you pulled them out of the Aussie Outback or wherever the heck the Dreadnoughts are from. I'm not sure where they originate from, but not from the States. So
And I
it
love
was a nice touch.
And I love the helmets too, like the skull helmets because that's straight out of like Call of Duty type stuff, not like Modern
Yeah, and if you
Warfare
can see
type.
this logo, it's got
Yeah.
like much like your sweatshirt, it's got a Punisher vibe, but it's got two pistols pointing down
Yes,
to kind of
I
form a
need
skull,
that. Yes, I want to get
which is
that.
so
Yes.
cool. Like, there's been a lot of requests for merch.
Yes,
But that's
you just brought up another thing. I need a grit shirt. I need because you like the shirt that you wear. I need that, and I need that hat, so that way every time I talk to you, I can wear that.
I'm gonna
So
talk to my people. I'm gonna talk to the top brass, see if we can't get a little merch store going on the side.
yes, please do. If not, like, hey, how about some? Like, give me some swag.
I'm gonna push for the original G.I. Joe sized action figures for us. Let's see
There
if they'll
you
do
go.
that too.
You with a big ass 50 caliber sniper rifle. I would
Limited
totally.
run.
No, you not even the OG. You need classified. You need like you need
Oh, the
like
big
guys.
boys?
Yeah, you need guys like this
Yeah,
big. Like
that's crazy,
so-
man.
so-
I'm afraid to get started. I don't have the space, unfortunately.
I don't
But
either,
those
sir.
things
But you
are
know what?
amazing.
I don't care. I don't care because
You'll make
I
the
got-
space.
I got out of it, but then I'm starting to get back to it. Listen, when you
Right.
when you get divorced, have a wife telling you what you can and cannot buy.
There you go.
That's all I got to
To-
say.
to your
All right,
heart's
now we're
content.
gonna get okay. Now this is big spoilers. I got to talk about this because it pissed me off in a good way, I guess. Because then I'm like, oh, okay, yes, this happened, but yes, this is gonna happen. So let's talk about the ending, sir. And again, if you have not
Mm.
seen this movie, do not listen. Go back, watch the movie, get pissed off like I did, and then come back, and then you can listen to what we're talking about, because this ends in probably the largest cliffhanger I have ever seen in my life. It's like a Soprano ending where it turns to black, and I was just like, what? And then the title comes up, and I'm just like, that's the ending? And then, of course, there's a stinger scene after that. But first of all, you and Tom are on the bridge. The bad guys come up, and then it looks like he gets shot. You get captured. Zondi, who was you like, listen, what you did for that man from the last movie to this movie, and then he motherfucking betrays you. What like, because you were late? I mean, I don't even know why like, listen, you were trying to do what you could, but you had to hide out for a little bit, and then it's like you came when you did. It's like, yeah, he got tortured. I'm sorry, but it's like, why like, I guess drama. I get what's it from your aspect?
Yeah, a lot goes on, man. The protege that I take under my wing,
Right? You
in
gave
the
him
last
skills.
movie.
You took him
Yeah.
under your wing. You taught him how to shoot. You taught him how to be this elite sniper and this badass. And he grabs his ball and goes home. I don't even know how to explain
Yeah.
it.
I mean, look, maybe the Iron Legion has a Dr. Mindbender on staff, and they, between the torture and the waterboarding and all the other brutal stuff they put him through, had to do a little bit of mind control, much like Storm Shadow back in the Cobra
Yes!
days. So
Thank you.
I don't know. More G.I. Joe references for all the nerds
You
out
got to
there.
come on the show. We got
Yeah.
to nerd out about
I'm
G.I.
there,
Joe.
brother.
I'm getting
there.
excited just when you're mentioning this stuff.
So yeah,
Okay, cool.
it's crazy. It was a surprise to me. I actually loved the way that they did it and the way that they edited this, because
It
they
was
left
cool.
people hanging, but
Yeah.
not so much that they're completely in the dark and are gonna, throw a remote through the TV or anything. So there was that little teaser that they put at the end that hints at more to come,
Yes.
which I thought was very tasteful and very smart on their end, so people weren't just pissed off. But yeah, we see Tom go down. We don't know the fate of him. We do know that Brandon is revealed to be in a dungeon, getting all kind of strung up, and he's about to get that same torture treatment, it looks like. And Tabo Zondi is kind of the turncoat situation there. I think the torture and the abuse got to him, and they fed him all the things he wanted to hear in an otherwise life or death situation, and he made the call to do the thing.
I think it's because he gave him the morphine. Like, he took his pain away, and he was like, "Oh, okay, I like you now." So it's like,
Yeah.
that's how I. But I love that scene though, because you're hanging up there, you're captured, you're beaten, and he comes in, and I like how you're like, "I'm gonna end you." I love that line. That's like the best line ever. It's like, yes. I was like, and then like it like you said, it ends, and then we get like this like teaser trailer for No Nation Part 2. Even if it didn't do that, I wouldn't have been as upset, because I'm like, yo, they're not going to end it like that and not give us another sniper movie. Because like I said, this is an annual holiday now. It's like the action TV series that doesn't end. It just keeps going, and it's like every January, February, or March, we're going to just see you tack up and play Brandon Beckett again. So, is there anything you could talk about that, or is it means the word?
Yeah, what I can say is that when we were in Cape Town last year doing No Nation Sniper 12. We concurrently shot Sniper 13.
Lucky
And
number
so
13, right?
it was like it was a mega script. It was basically two scripts rolled into one. I cannot give enough credit to the incredible our director Trevor Cavalry, who was our DP, director of photography on Last Stand. That's why it looks so amazing. And he jumped into helm these two. It's number 12 and 13. Him and his team did an absolutely incredible job. It was so hard to. One day we'd be shooting stuff from 12. The next day we'd be shooting for 13. Then we'd go to a different location. We have to shoot 12 and 13. It was wild, man. It was.
You were
50
filming them at
days.
the same time.
Yeah,
But it was like
it
back
was.
and forth type of stuff.
I was so excited. It was so ambitious and such a great thing to do. So I mean, really, this is all one movie. Cut into two parts is the way that we kind of went about this and filmed it. So I can say that it's already in the can. I've heard rumors that it'll be out before the end of 2026. So people will hopefully have to wait.
So we'll have to wait
too
till
long.
next January, February, March.
I don't know that it'll be an annual thing. Of course, it's above my pay grade. I don't know when the release schedules come, but I've heard it rumored and whispered. I know they've been working really hard on it to get it finished and cleaned up and ready to rock, to put it out there sooner rather than later. So hopefully that comes to fruition. But yeah, if you thought Last Stand led into Sniper No Nation so seamlessly, like, oh my gosh, we're doing a direct smash cut right to Sniper No Nation Part 2 on this one.
Yeah, you kind of did like what was that? The Twilight thing where they broke two movies into one, and then like, but
Hmm.
this is okay though because like, and the teaser looked cool. Like there was like what they showed, and like somebody's popping. Like anytime somebody pops out of the water, like a Navy SEAL, like I'm all
Yeah.
for that. Like you get to see that you doing your stuff. People are getting sniped in the head, and it's just like, and then it just says part 2, and I'm just like, I'm sold. Listen, and again, I know it's above your pay grade, but if they listen to the audiences and the people that eat this stuff up like me, like you could be doing this until you're like, I don't know, old. So, because I'm old, but it's like it's just you have a legacy, sir, and I wanted to talk to you about this because like it must mean so much to you. Like, not every actor or actress gets this type of character, which they get to play for such a long time and have it. Because, like, the sniper films and Brandon Beckett, that's a staple of action cinema now. So, talk about your thoughts on that. And just like, and going back to Reloaded, like, did you think, like, was it just like, hey, I'm doing a sniper movie? Awesome, Billy Zane's in it, it's like, and then here we are like 80 years later, and it's become this legacy. So talk about that.
Oh my gosh, I don't think anybody could have predicted the
I
longevity
did.
here.
I
And
liked it.
okay, you did.
I
All
yeah, I
credit to
remember
you.
I remember when I saw Reloaded. I was like,
Yeah.
that was pretty cool, and then they get the next one, and so it's like I listen, I would have been for it, but I wasn't going to think that they're here we are today, in
Right.
2026 talking about it. But
Well,
go
I
on.
mean, look, it's been 16 years, like we touched on earlier, going all the way back to Reloaded with 2010. Sniper on a Nation Part 2 will be officially get me in double digits. That'll be the 10th movie I'm a part of out of
Yes,
13
because this is number
overall.
9, right? Because he did
Yeah,
3 time
I'm
stuff, and
atop the
then
leaderboard
yeah,
for most appearances in a sniper franchise, which is
right.
fantastic, and I'm happy about that accomplishment. But it's been a dream, man. I mean, acting for fun and to play pretend soldiers, being such a GI Joe fan and everything else that we've talked about before, to be able to continue to do this and to keep coming back to something again and again and again, and to explore this character. This character gets so much dirt under the fingernails and so weathered from the experiences he has, just like I am in real life, in real
Yeah,
time. So
right.
it's really fun to take Brandon from that naive young infantry soldier all the way to elite sniper, getting into international global conflicts and dealing with pain, dealing with loss, dealing with betrayal, dealing with the kill counts and the messes he left behind, and it really just takes its toll on the guy. And I think Sniper 13 is going to be really fun for everybody because we're going to see a very different Brandon Beckett, as you can imagine.
Now, look, because again, and I'm not saying this in a bad way. Again, there's my spoiler thing, but again, the way the finale was, I was kind of like because like in the Last Stand, that finale was I was exhausted. I was like that filled you up, right?
Mhm.
That was like a full course meal. This looked like an appetizer. Like it was a great finale. Don't get me wrong. Shit's blowing up. People are getting shot. Angel, that's a different actress playing Angel in this one, is it not?
It was, yeah. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I don't think the original actress who did an amazing job on
Yes.
Last Stand with us,
Yeah.
but they got a very capable replacement. Her fight scene was way fun, really
She
amazing.
probably gets the best kill where she pushes
Yeah.
that guy down. Like that.
Very
I was like,
unique.
that's cool. Like, so yeah. So but basically, like what I was saying, like with the legacy and everything, like when you like, do you and Tom, like when you're off camera and like or you're waiting or something, do you guys like ever chat? Like, does he ever tell you like how he feels about how you've taken over and like taken this little movie that was from the net? Because it was like Sniper wasn't like a huge big budgeted movie. I mean, it had a pretty good sized budget and everything, but like nobody would have known that from that movie. And then when he did the direct to video ones, which were still pretty good, does he ever tell you, like, is he like a proud papa in that respect?
I mean, hanging out with Tom's awesome because he does share fun stories from his very long, decorated career, and
Right.
he's a cool dude in general. He's getting up there in the years and everything too, but he's still such a gamer to be able to go and do these things and be a part of these things. And there's definitely not been any animosity towards me for taking the mantle
No, yeah,
from him.
Yeah.
He's great, and he comes in and he does his job and he gets out of there and he had a great time doing it. And of course, endeared himself to everybody in the amazing crew that we've been working with, Blue Ice Pictures down in Cape Town. So it's always awesome, man. The stories, the energy, the vibe. He is the legend. He's the one who kicked everything off, and I do everything to work with him, to accommodate him, to help him, especially with the physical stuff and things like that. It's always fun to work with a legend like that, acting wise, drama wise. He's got a beautiful, touching scene, talking to, just kind of reflecting on his life that him and Brandon share, and I thought that was an absolutely really great, powerful scene where Brandon smartly just mostly shuts his mouth and listens, like a good boy.
Yes.
But it was a nice moment, really really cool.
Well, I like how like your relationship has changed between father and son from obviously like when he first came on, and because like you were estranged, of course, like the Becketts were, you weren't like hanging out at Christmas time or anything like when he
Right.
first came onto the scene. But I like how it's evolved, like because now it's like I'd say like you guys maybe like if you're not like waging war somewhere, like you are hanging out at Christmas time now, and he comes to your aid in this one because you get into trouble, and of course he comes to save his son, which is kind of cool.
hmm Yeah, I mean, exactly what a good dad would do.
Right.
And and in a lot of ways it's really great writing because he's always had the regrets of not being there for me growing up. The job is a job, and he's not at Christmas because he's out killing some
Right.
terrorist, across the globe somewhere, and nobody knows where he is, and they can't know for their own protection. So for him to kind of make good on that and come to bail me out, as he has in a couple movies, is really cool. It's kind of like maybe it's decades too late to be the present father, but at least he can be present in the way that he knows how now. So I really enjoy the moments and the scenes that we get to explore that dynamic.
And that's the scene you're talking like because what you guys are sitting by the ocean, and it's like you said, it's a quieter moment. And again, those are like treasured like in these types of movies, because we all know
Yeah.
we're there for the explosions and the bullets and everything. But it's like because you got to care about the characters, of course. We always say action just for the sake of action isn't, nobody cares about that. You got to care about the characters and care about the situations that they're in and everything. So having those scenes really justifies the action. So when the action is coming out, yes, it's kick ass, it's cool, we're enjoying it, the choreography and all the wonderfulness of the carnage and everything. But just talk about like making sure that the characters matter so that action matters.
Yeah, and I think that was there's a lot of heart in these movies, and I think it's important, especially when the characters come back again and again, like Zero and stuff like that. You get to learn more about them. You get to like them a little bit more. They get, the actors get to explore different layers and backgrounds and the subtext of things based on their experiences and everything. So, I mean, really, it's a pleasure. I just all testament to our wonderful creators, especially Daniel over at Sony, because like I always say, like they could sleep on this. They could just crank out mediocre fare, and people will still probably watch and they'll still do just fine for them. But they have pushed so hard over the years to keep elevating this stuff, and I think you really saw that with the I will call it the Grit trilogy, going back to Assassin's End and introducing those amazing characters. And
Right.
now as we take a turn into this more, I guess we'll call it the Costa Verde trilogy. Really a lot of love, a lot of care, a lot of thoughtfulness, and not sleeping on trying to elevate it for what little we have to work with and what little time we have to do these things, to still try to find ways to make it unique, special, beautiful. I thought Trevor and his the director and his DP Brendan shot an absolutely beautiful movie. It looks amazing. The score is fantastic. Sari Knight edited it in such a really fantastic way as well. Like it just checks the boxes, And there's kind of a running joke with people behind the scenes, and I won't name names here, but they one of them said to me at one point, "This movie, for how little we had to make it, has no business being this good." And I think it is good. It looks a way bigger than it is, and I think that's the goal, and I think that everybody knocked it out of the park.
So I'm glad that you said that because again, I do a lot with independent action cinema, and I'm a big advocate for indie action, because I feel like if you say that, it puts like people have a bad connotation of that, which is stupid. Because just because a movie doesn't have a budget doesn't mean it can't be a good movie.
Right, right.
And that's the thing. Like with the sniper movies, yes, it's not like this is Disney money getting thrown around. It's not like
Yeah.
you just said it. Like Last Stand, you did 2 days for that whole awesome finale, where like if it was like this big ass budgeted picture, it'd be like 2 weeks or something like that. but
Right.
it's how you use the money and how, one, you get talented people like yourself in front of and behind the camera, and then people who care about what they're doing. And at the same time, it's like, okay, this is how much we have for a budget. And when you know how to do it and how to use that and utilize it, it doesn't matter, because it's like, yes, we don't have this, but we do have this. And, that's how these movies turn out like that. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. You need everybody. It's even more important. The less money you have, the more essential it is for the buy-in. People got to be all in, and people got to understand you're going to have massive days, long days, shoot a lot of pages every single day. You're not going to have a lot of takes. You have so many setups to get through, especially in the action space, to cover everything and to really make a dynamic edit of it. So it really does come down to everybody bringing their A game. And yeah, I suppose when you're just have an unlimited budget or a massive budget that you couldn't possibly mess up, people get lazy, they fall asleep, and things can maybe spiral out of control a little bit. But they were so organized. I've told this story a couple times now, but our producers and Sean Wathen, our writer slash producer, he had a working spreadsheet every single day of the number of clips, mags, rounds expended that were still in the guns of everybody. He picks up this gun from this soldier that's got 3 bullets left. Like, they were so meticulous with trying to ground it in that military realism. They did not take anything for granted. So I give props, and to do that across 2 movies is absolutely insane. You have to be organized. You have to be on your A game. You have to absolutely bring it every single day to make use of what you have here. And I think that it was mission accomplished.
Now, let me ask you this. This might be a hard question, but because I've always wanted to ask you this. Now, like you said, you've done 9. Technically, again, 10 if you count the next one that's coming out.
Spoilers.
Yeah, but do you have like a favorite sniper movie of yours that you're in? I mean, of course, like, don't say Tom's. Like, we all know the original is awesome and it's iconic, and Billy Zane and everything. Now, out of yours, like, because I know you're probably you're probably thrilled with what you did with all of them. But is there one that just like kind of holds a special place in your heart for a certain type of reason, or is it just like, what, I love all 9?
I listen. I'm grateful for every single one.
Right. Yes.
I'm kind of corny because the latest one we're just releasing is always my favorite. Only because I think that we really do elevate it and give the audience something new and a little bit more than we gave the last time. We find a way to do that, and also because you never know as an actor. Gratitude is everything. You never know when this ride's going to stop. You never know when things change, whether it's at Sony or the people that have been absolutely ushering this franchise in and elevating it and putting so much love and care into it. They could change careers, and things could happen. You've got corporate mergers everywhere. You never know, and nothing is guaranteed. So the last one we did, because I think that we always strive to make it a little bit better than one previous, but also because you never know when the ride's going to end. And so the last one is always my favorite, and hopefully it's never the last one.
Fair, like, absolutely, fair enough. But like, I mean, like, in terms of like my favorites, I'm probably like, of course, aside from the original, because we all know, again, iconic. I get it, because I always have people come at me like, "How could you pick that over Tom's?" I'm like, I'm not picking it over Tom's. I'm just saying, if you take that one away, this is
Right.
the one I like, type of. But they come at you like gangbusters, and it drives you crazy. But I would say that The Last Stand is probably. I mean, now, if you take this one, No Nation, with the sequel that we got coming in, maybe. But right now, I gotta say, The Last Stand, bar none, is my favorite of yours.
That's high
Just
praise.
because listen, it's like, one, it was, and plus it was such this great ensemble piece too. Like, you had all these new and interesting and dynamic characters that you guys did. We all know you and Zero and everything. It was missing. Like I said, we need to bring Lady Death back in some way, shape, or form. That's all I gotta say. So she's got to come back. I don't care if it's a different actress. I just love the character, and I just love, and of course, like, if Dennis Haysbert isn't doing anything, let's get him back and everything. It's like but at the same time, The Last Stand, of course, the finale is awesome and everything, and I loved how diverse you guys were with the action sequences. But I also loved it because of, like, all these different types of characters that you teamed up with, and it was like it was like a GI Joe movie, because you had like, you could just see like, you could just, when this person was introduced, you could just see their file card on the back of their action figure,
Right.
coming up on the screen. So that's just my feeling. So
No, and you're absolutely right. And it was such a pleasure to have a direct continuation because some of those wonderful actors got to come back for No Nation, and I just think
and
they're
Nova,
fantastic down there.
he comes back.
Yeah,
I forget his.
Manuel. Yeah, he's
Yes,
back. We meet his half sister, the resident hacker, because Intel Pete's not there. Boots on the ground in the
he's on
Phoenix
the phone
Rebellion.
now. He's on the phone.
He's on the phone.
He's on
He's
the
on the
phone.
phone for a little emotional support. But
Yes.
yeah, Donica plays his sister, who helps us out on the inside. So yeah, really, really fantastic to work with a lot of the recurring characters. I thought Cizo, who plays Tabo Zandi, did a fantastic job. Really, he was coming into this so blind on The Last Stand, and when this movie came back around, you could tell he trained, he worked out a little bit more. He really took it really seriously. They gave him a lot more to do, and trusted him a lot. And I thought he played a really great character, and I love that dynamic between him, because it's been since The Last Stand. I've been telling this character, it's like, hey, look, it's not about your kill count. You really have to be mentally strong to be able to do this and switch people off like this. And there's little references that maybe he's getting a little too gun crazy, and he's getting a little too into switching people off with a sniper rifle, and that starts to lean into and play into the turn that we see him take. So I thought he did a bang up job. There's too many people to give credit to. Otherwise, this would be an hour of just saying thank you and the longest Oscar speech ever. So, but really great group. And I'm excited for people to not only see this one, but to reveal information when I can about the direct sequel.
Yeah, and like again, just real quick, one more thing on Zandi. Like, I wouldn't expect it like to have that character arc, like
Mhm.
like coming. So that's kind of cool, that they're kind of like making his character more meaty and everything. I also, switching gears here a little bit. I didn't get a chance to review it or anything because I was kind of late to the party. But you're in a movie called The Wrecker, which I loved. I thought that was kind of cool. You played a different character in that one, of course.
Oh, very different.
The great,
Yeah.
but you still got the kick ass in it, which was kind of cool. I was like, oh, he's still kicking ass in it. It's okay if he's a douchebag, kind of, but it's like, it's okay. But talk
Yeah.
about a little bit about that, because that's Art Camacho, like on
That
that
was.
one.
Yeah.
And and such, I got to interview him because I'm such a fan of his from the 90s and when he was doing his PM thing and everything and stuff like that. So just give me a little soundbite on doing that movie. And again, like switching off and going from Brandon Beckett and playing this other, because again, it's like sometimes fans probably don't have to get used to you playing somebody different because you're playing him so much.
Yeah, that was for Al Bravo Films out in
Yes.
great filmmakers out in Las Vegas. It was the first time I got to work with Art Camacho. We did that actually a few years ago now. But they're great because they let me get out of the box. And between Desert Dawn, which they produced, and between The Wrecker, I play such a screw up kid brother that sets a whole awful chain of events in motion for my otherwise good older brother, military vet older brother. But it was a lot of fun to play such kind of a wild card character, such a screw up. And Art was really awesome, and there was really no fight scripted for me in that. There was some struggle, and mostly me just getting the crap kicked out of me, and then hopefully shooting the gun at the end, which I won't say anything about that, what goes down at the
Right.
end. But Art knew that I was capable, and he wanted to see what I was comfortable with, and I said, yeah, sure. So on the day, he just kind of threw me in a bunch of like improvised fight scenes. They'd work it on the day. They'd kind of put me through the paces real quick, and we'd go and we'd just shoot it. And he liked what he saw, so he gave me more and more little fight sequences. So I think there was like 3 or 4 maybe mini fights that Bobby gets into on top of everyone else. So it was a lot of fun. And Art is a great dude and a legend in the industry. And yeah, me and him just worked on something that I don't think I can say anything about yet, but I got to reunite with him, and he's fantastic. So, but the record was a lot of fun, man. Total popcorn movie.
Like, and I loved interviewing too, because like when I interviewed him, he was walking around on the street like at night, like just he's like a mile a minute, and I was just like trying to keep
Yeah.
up with him. Like how is he? Like, is he like that on set where he's just like, wow, and you're just like, whoa, wait a second, like let me catch up.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, that's an indie director for you, man.
Yeah.
You have to have so much energy, just to do those days and do those hours and to chase down so much stuff in so little time. I'm always blown away by by the crew and the directors of these amazing films. And so it doesn't surprise me at all. Fun thing about Art is he's got like just the best jacket collection ever. The dude always he just looks street tough like all the time. He's got these amazing like leather jackets and stuff that he wears, and he just kind of oozes cool. And I love that about Art. But he's probably the most humble person you've ever met, despite all his many accolades and accomplishments.
He also he's such a great guy. Like I said, I interviewed, but he also came on to my friend Owen, who you know from the Action.
Oh yeah,
He,
yeah, oh,
yeah,
yeah.
you chatted with him for the movie as well. He came on one of Owen's shows that I'm a co-host on, and it was just great listening to him talk about his PM Entertainment days. He's talking about Gary Daniels and
Oh
like all
wow,
these like, and it was you're just
old
like,
school.
yeah, right. It's like
Hmm.
it was just like such a phenomenal chat, and like he's again like you, so humble, like you guys, you make movies and stuff like that, but at the same time it's like, you know what, it's like you're good to the fans, and because like without fans you wouldn't be making movies. Right.
I'm into that, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're nothing without people putting their butts in the seats and dialing us up and giving us a chance. So I'm always grateful that people do take a chance on the stuff we put out there, and I always will be.
And so again, I want to just kind of pick your brain here for a little bit. Of course, a few weeks ago, I'm still recovering. I still haven't done my trip yet, but the great Chuck Norris passed
Mm,
away. When
yeah.
I go waking up that day, turning on the computer, and I was just like, because sometimes you see stuff like that and it's like fake and stuff like that, but it's just like that's one that probably hit me the hardest, because he was my introduction not only to the martial arts but action cinema. Because Lone Wolf McQuade was probably the first action movie my dad and I watched together. And so like he
Right.
was such instrumental in who I am today in terms of action cinema. So just talk about, being a fan of his, and like, maybe talk about maybe a favorite movie that, you go to with him, and just give him, show some respect, as we honor his legacy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I was a child all through the 80s. So
Right.
it was towards the end of the 80s and into the 90s when we finally actually got cable TV, and I was able to go on TBS, TNT, USA, and actually finally watch all these really fun action films. And God, maybe you'll know because you're a bit of an aficionado. What was the movie where they strung him upside down? He was like captured, and they put a bag of rats over his head, and he basically just bit the heads off all the damn rats, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is a very
It
different
was
guy."
only one rat. It wasn't a bunch of
It was
rats,
only
but
one?
yeah, it was
I'm
just,
gonna
yeah,
give
they
him.
put a big ass rat, yeah, and
Yeah,
that was a real rat they put in that bag, by the way. That was
good
missing in
lord.
action too. The beginning,
Missing in
yes,
action joke. I
yeah,
thought it was one of the missing in actions,
yes, and
but
then
yeah,
they take the bag off, and the rat's dead in his mouth.
that
Yeah,
was
that's
such
iconic.
between that
Yes.
and like the Bruce Lee fight, and I mean, there's so many iconic um, moments with the legend Chuck Norris, the guy who spawned a million memes, of course, across the internet. Tough guy memes, which is my favorite part about the Chuck Norris legacy, I think, at this point. But Walker Texas Ranger was something that was really formative to me. That was kind of like when I started to like understand TV and film a little bit more. I was of a certain age when his series was kind of in the heyday to really appreciate Chuck Norris and that energy that he brought. And of course, I've seen all the movies back in the day here and there, but the guy's a legend, and really, Texas Ranger was the one that I have the strongest impression and most favorable memories of.
That's fair enough, because like I remember when he started that show, I was like, I'm getting Chuck Norris every week. What could be better than that? You don't have to wait like a year or two to get a movie from him. It
Right,
was
right.
like every week it was a Chuck Norris movie,
Hmm.
But yeah, it's funny that you said you just got cable, because that's the same thing too. We had just moved into our house, our second house, and my mom and dad got cable, and we got HBO. And that's
Ah,
when
there you go.
Lone Wolf McQuade was on, and then it was like a Sunday or something, and he was. And the funny thing is, and I laughed at this, like if Lone Wolf McQuade was made today, it would have been R-rated, but back then it was PG. But
Right.
they say the F word a couple times. It's like violent as hell, It's like, but you know
Uh,
what? Back in the '80s, they were just like, it's not that bad. Slap a
everybody was
PG on
built
it,
different back then.
because I wasn't watching R-rated movies, with my parents.
Right, right,
They
right.
they would go to bed at night. I'd be like, "Oh, Revenge of
Exactly.
the Ninja, let's watch that." But
Yep, yep.
yeah, so that's why, like, yeah. And then I watched that movie, and I was just sold. And then Invasion USA, funny enough, his iconic canon film, was the first R-rated movie I officially went to see with my dad. So yeah,
Okay.
so I just wanted to pick your brain a little bit because, like I said, it's just I like I said, I'm still no. I was gonna do a big tribute, and I still haven't done it just because I'm still trying to figure out like how to honor him.
Where do you
Because
start? My gosh, yeah.
yes,
What a
exactly.
what a
Listen,
body of
like
work.
God forbid, way in the future, like when you're 98, 99, 100, and you leave this world, they're going to be doing tributes to you and and the sniper films. Because listen, you can't do something for this long and not leave a mark, not leave like I said, like a legacy. And that's the awesome thing about it. And again, I've mentioned this 1,000 times, and I've talked about this, but you were one of the ones when I first started doing my website. You reached out to me and you were like, "Hey, I saw your website. You know, it looks really cool." So so you were like, Chad Law was the first interview I ever did. The great prolific writer producer Chad Law, who's on. Which, by the way, I got to hook back up with him. It's been a while since I talked to him. But then it was funny because then you messaged me, and so I was like Chad and Chad. Like my first 2 interviews ever for the site were the
Couple
two
of Chads.
Chads. Yeah, so
Yeah. Yeah.
right, I can't thank you enough for like. And back then, I think we did email. Like I sent you
hmm
questions, which was
hmm
fine. But yeah, again, I can't thank you enough for like like what you've done, and
Oh my
because
gosh.
yeah.
No, you've been an absolute amazing supporter of our incredible franchise and all the other things that I've been lucky enough to be able to do as well. So we appreciate you.
Hey,
I did I did
I love the
Reloaded.
Assailant. I love the Assailant, even though you were a
Yeah,
douchebag
Exhale
in
was
that movie too.
fantastic. Casper Van Dien, a great fun
Right?
little action horror
Exactly.
movie. But yeah, I mean, listen, I did Reloaded and was just so excited about it because I was just starting to live the dream for the first time a little bit, doing that soldier stuff. And so, of course, I reached out and I want to talk to anybody who would listen. And what better person to talk to than a guy who's an absolute encyclopedia of action films and not only a fan, but a great reporter in his own right. So I appreciate all your support over the years, John. It's always a pleasure to chop it up with you and have next level conversations about this stuff.
Absolutely. And like I said, I mean, like, that's why every time I get excited, like it does. And going back to Desert Dawn, funny thing, Kellen Lutz, who you're in that movie with,
hmm
he plays the good guy to your douchebag villain.
He sure does.
But
Yeah.
you are a scumbag in that one, by the way. But good
Kind of.
job playing a
Yeah.
scumbag because
Thank
you're
you.
really a sleazeball. Like I love that's what I wanted to ask you. Like, is it hard? Like, because you do so many sniper films to like switch off and be like, okay, now I gotta play this type of character, or is it just like you know what, you just gotta like read the script and just kind of like look in the mirror? I don't know. Like, how do you switch off from Brandon Beckett like when you're actually doing something that's not that doesn't have sniper in the title?
I mean, usually the writing helps with that to pull the clues out in the subtext and how to do this sort of stuff, and they let you get creative with putting your own little individual stamp on it. But I mean, look, heroes and villains, they're always justified. It's just a different side of a different coin. Everybody believes they're right. Everybody thinks they're doing the right thing for whatever reasons and whatever issues they might have. So
That's true. Yeah.
it's not as hard as you'd think, to switch that coin. I mean, what does Brandon do? It's like he knows that this is justified because he's fighting the good fight. It's like, well, what does someone like Jack Danes from Desert Dawn do? It's like, he's got no one else and no one he can trust, so he's going to do the things that keeps him alive, and everything he has to do to those ends, he's justified. So it's fun, man. It's different shades of justifications, I suppose.
And listen, I like again. I'm not going to keep you for too much longer, but I have a fun story about Kellen Lutz, who you co-starred with in Desert Dawn. I'm here in Panama City Beach. By the way, if you ever find yourself in Panama City Beach, look me up because this is where I'm at. So
I spring break there once when I was in college.
well, you should come back. I got
It's
an
quite
extra
fun.
room.
I think my buddy got a ticket for but he had drinks in a public street or something like that. So he got slapped by the PD on the four wheelers for all the crazy
Oh,
kids
well,
down there
hey,
in
there you
Florida.
go. Anyway, like I actually work at another job now, but before I was working at a touristy place here in Panama City Beach, and he had come in with his family, his beautiful
hmm
wife and his 2 children,
Yep.
and it was funny because I was the assistant manager of this establishment. My coworker came up to me, and she was like 17, so she's all Twilight,
Twilight. Oh yeah.
and she comes running up to me, and she's like John, I'm like, what? She's like, Edward's here. I'm like, I'm like, okay, that's great. Who the hell is Edward? Like, why do I care if Edward's in the building? She's like, Edward. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking. She's like, Twilight. And I'm like thinking, because I've never watched a Twilight movie a day in my life. Not seen. Listen, nothing, no shade on Twilight, but I'm like Twilight. I'm like, who was in that movie that I might know? And I'm like, I'm like, do you mean Kellen Lutz? And she's like, that's his name. I'm like, no shit. So she's like, I want to get my picture taken with him. And then all these other coworkers who are all women, like, do you think you can ask him if you could if we could get our picture taken with him? And I'm like, well, he's probably with his family. Probably doesn't want to be bothered. I'm like, yeah, let me go see. So I go up the steps to the back of this place, and I look over, and there he is. He's got a white shirt on. He's with his family, and he's like playing with his kids and stuff like that. So I walk up to him, right, and I lean over. I go, hey, how you doing? He's like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, are you guys having, because I'm acting like an assistant manager. I'm like, are you guys having fun? He's like, absolutely. And I go, hey, can I ask you? And I already knew who he was, so I'm being sarcastic at this point. I'm like, hey, I got a question for you. He's like, yeah. I'm like, are you a movie star? And he just flashed this big smile and reached out, shook my hand. He's like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, I'm a big fan. And I'm like, because I'm a fan from his action movies, because he's done a lot of action movies in his own right. And plus he took on Scott Adkins in Hercules. So like, that gives him street cred right there. But then I'm like, hey, I got like all these ladies down here who want to take pictures, and so he's like, oh yeah, so like I was like their favorite assistant manager after that point. But like he would come in a couple times after that, and we would just chat and stuff like that. That was like just the coolest thing.
It doesn't surprise me, man, when I work with him. As short as that project was, he was very kind, he was very gracious. He was a super cool dude to work with and to get to know a little bit better. So not shocked at all that he was very accommodating like that.
Absolutely. Okay, so before I let you go, so we were talking a little bit about Chuck Norris and everything. Like, do you have a movie and like an action movie that is like the significant like film for you in terms of like instilling your love for? Like I said, it pretty much. I'd have to say Lone Wolf McQuade, because like I said, that's like the official one. But there was all those ninja movies coming out at the time too. But it was Chuck Norris. Do you have one, or is it just a plethora of them?
Oh man, it's hard to nail down, at least in the action space, just one. I mean, I think Lethal Weapon made a huge impression on me.
That's a good one. Yep.
Yeah, Lethal Weapon, but oh my gosh, I loved it. I mean, Conan the Barbarian was huge. I mean, Total Recall is my favorite Arnold movie, just because it goes into the weird and that sci-fi and everything else too. But it's very much an action movie.
It's got kick-ass Arnold Schwarzenegger action, but at the same time does different things. So yeah. So
yeah, I mean, RoboCop. I'm trying to think of all the formative ones that really stuck out. I remember Cobra, that dude getting hung on that meat hook. And stuff. So I binged so many of these things. It's hard to say which one is probably my all-time favorite. You'd have to give me the star, and then I'll have to tell you my favorite from the star. But I've always loved the military movies, Platoon and Saving Private Ryan, and us huge fans, of course, with Band of Brothers and everything else too. So those left a huge impression. I'd say action movie. If you can classify Braveheart as an action movie, that's my all-time favorite movie for obvious reasons.
You could call it an action drama. I mean, it's drama. Yeah, there's a lot of heavy drama in it, but yeah, you could call it an action. Yeah, I'll let you pass on that one. Absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So that's my greatest hits.
Like my go-to is like when people ask me what's my favorite movie, I always break Aliens out, because it's like the perfect blending of action, sci-fi, and horror. So it's like, so and it's got such great characters. But before you go, I am gonna show the trailer for Sniper No Nation. And if you want, sir, you may comment through it, or and maybe do a little commentary if you want. And let's see all the greatness that people are in store for when they watch it.
3, 2, 1, fire.
The United States completely denies any involvement in the incident.
I love that scene right there. That's one of my favorites from
the
last.
And intelligence team is an enemy of the United States of America. Anyone involved in this terrorist false flag organization will be hunted down and will face the consequences.
Where is Brandon Beckett? Is he still alive?
What the hell am I doing here?
You're being detained under the Patriot Act.
That's for terrorists.
Hello, Zero. Where's my
I want to be on that list. There he is.
There's been an attack. Over 50 Phoenix rebels were killed in a raid. 3 were taken hostage.
Give me Brandon Beckett. I'll give you an honorable death.
Why would they kill 50 unless they want us to go back to Costa Verde? This is a trap.
Tell me everything Beckett taught you. When he comes for you, what's he gonna do?
You really think you can take on the Iron Legion on your own?
We faced worse odds,
You guys just barely made it back across the border alive.
but we're going in.
One shot, one kill.
There's the line.
Let's get to work.
3,
Yep.
2, 1, fire. Said we can't go home after everything we've done for our country.
There is no going home.
There's the Iron Legion.
You're a man of no nation, Brandon Beckett.
Hope you enjoyed the show, Brandon. You're next.
I love that
And of
flying
course,
shoulder
it's
butt.
available. Yeah, yeah, right. It's available on
Amazing.
digital. Actually, I'm gonna run out to Walmart today and go get it on DVD, of course. Because you remember
Nice.
last time when I talked to you for Assassin's End, I got the little did I know there'd be 8,000 more movies after that. I got the collection up until then, like the seven
Yeah.
movie collection. So yeah, so I've been collecting the rest of them. And don't worry, like if they ever release like the ultimate sniper collection, I'll get that too because it's like I gotta add it to my collection. So, but I just again going back to that finale, I love how they switched things up to like, of course, we had The Last Stand, which had that Alamo type, and now this was like a street war kind of thing. So I really love how like it switches up the finale. Of course, it's an appetizer because we all know what's coming next, but so I love that aspect too and switching things up. So just real quick, last thing, just how Sniper stays relative and has lasted so long, is able to it went from the military style, did a little bit of James Bond there for a little bit, and now it's going back to the tactical like GI Joe type, running and gunning.
Yeah, I think we've had all sorts of different fun looks and everything as well, given the different situations and missions that we've had. I mean, it's really nice. It's nice to run around in a tac vest again and kind of get back to that. I mean, his roots are as a Marine and running missions and running ops and stuff like that too. So doing the kind of the black ops sort of grit, wet work stuff. I think it was really fun to explore a lot of street clothes, Brandon, during the we'll call it the Grit trilogy. But now we're kind of back in the Costa Verde trilogy timeline. So the tac vest stuff, always being strapped up, sidearm, drag bag with the sniper rifle and everything. It's really cool. I think it's a throwback to those roots as a soldier, because he's not been in the proper military for a long time. He's been working these missions as an elite tier 1 operator. So it is fun, man. There's nothing like putting that sort of stuff on and just kind of feeling. It helps you kind of feel and get into the character a little bit more. So it's nice to see, and I think it looks great on camera too, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, okay, God willing, do you see like this franchise like going for many more years to come? Do you see yourself like in Tom's role one day, like where you're like your son is now like a sniper? Like that would be kind of cool, right? Not that I want to nobody wants to get old, trust me, take it from me, but it's like I would see that happening, right? Like that, like having this like series go on for like, because listen, you're gonna pass up the Fast and Furious franchise here pretty soon, so it's like I see it. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
No,
Well, I mean, look, it's show business, right? And I think
right,
that,
it's not show friends, it's show business.
yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I mean, look, there's a reason why the 12th is being released, and we're gonna have a 13th here, and people seem to appreciate it. Audiences seem to watch it all around the world, and at the end of the day, that's the business part. So as long as we can check those boxes, I would like to think that it makes sense for them to keep doing more. I'd love to get up to Sniper 21, and if at that point they want me to hand over the long gun to hopefully a protege that's more trustworthy than Tom
Yeah, it doesn't
Bozani.
have to be. It doesn't have to be your son, but maybe like you take somebody
Right.
under your wings, and like that would be kind of cool. Like the circle of life, holding up the tiny
Absolutely.
lion, type of thing. So,
Yeah, we're passing the torch, man. And yeah, I mean, look, that'd be a dream to be able to take it that far. And if that fateful day ever comes, then I welcome it. What a fantastic run and what a good ride. So as far as what the future holds, we got to get past 13. I don't know what's going to go on, if anything, after that. But hell of a way to end things if it is the end. And hopefully we just continue to lean into another trilogy with a whole different setting, with some fresh faces and some old ones.
Well, listen again. Spoiler: like at the end of that teaser, at the end of the movie, it says the mission concludes. It doesn't say the franchise concludes. So it's like this part of
Hooray for that.
Brandon Beckett's life. All right, but don't hang up when I stop, because I want to talk to you just for a couple minutes off camera. But
Sure.
Chad, thank you so much. Again, like I said, we were supposed to do this for The Last Stand, which totally ticked me off because I was in bad shape when I was supposed to talk to you that time, and I was like, we never got. So I thank you for taking a huge chunk of your day out to come chat with me, and hopefully, like I said, maybe we'll have you guests on some other podcast. We're not talking necessarily about your movies, but we'll have you on talking G.I. Joe or other things, and pick your brains about that stuff too. But Sniper No Nation is now on DVD and digital, so make sure if you're an action fan. And listen, I got inundated today, like even before I did this, like with people, did you watch it? Did you watch it? I'm like, yes, I watched it, but I have a job. Be recording a video review for No Nation today after I do this, so everybody keep your eye on that, because spoiler, I liked it, so no stretch or anything. All right, so last response, what do you want people to get from again watching this latest installment of the Sniper franchise?
Sniper No Nation. It picks up with the events of The Last Stand, as you recommended. It'd be cool if people had the time to brush up on The Last Stand or watch it for the first time before they rolled into this one. I don't think it's completely necessary. They do a pretty good job of weaving it back around and filling in the blanks as well. But super action packed, some old faces, some new faces as well. We got fantastic new antagonist entries rather. In the Sniper franchise. So a lot of fun action, and like you say, a lot of things that you're not going to see coming at the end of this one.
Absolutely. All right. So again, Chad, thank you so much. Again, make sure you guys check it out. Make sure you watch it 1,000 times. Make sure you buy it the right way. If any of you come at me and say that you downloaded illegally, I block. Well, first I yell at you repeatedly and maybe swear a couple times, and then I block you. But make sure you support action cinema, and especially independent action cinema. Like I said, this isn't Disney money that these guys have, so it's like it's a testament, Chad, is it not, to how long this franchise is going, because people are eating this up. Like they wouldn't keep making these like if nobody was watching them, correct?
I mean, that's it. That's the business part of show business. So to be able to have the longevity we've had, and have very modest resources to make them, and it just shows that it's an absolute labor of love every single time, and people putting their best efforts in, and we're checking some boxes. We're delivering.
Check those. Yeah, check the box. That's right. Hey, listen, like I said, when a trailer shows you something, but then the movie delivers on the promise of the trailer, then that's how you know it's a good, not just an action movie, but a good movie in general. Like I said, every time you watch a new Sniper trailer, the movie always delivers on what the trailer promised, and that's the highest compliment. It's like, because a lot of times you watch a trailer and like, this is gonna be great, then you watch it and you're like, that was not great. They put all the best moments in the movie and the rest of it sucked. So it's like, we cannot say that about the Sniper franchise. Or make sure you check out some of like The Wrecker. If you guys haven't checked The Wrecker out, if you want to see Chad in a totally different type of role where he does get to kick ass, but his
I wear very flashy shirts.
Yeah,
very flashy shirts.
Oh, and then also in Desert Dawn, you wear some flashy shirts in that one.
I do.
Too. Yes, that must have been fun, being able to like wear some snazzy outfits, like some because that's kind of like vacation shirts.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely like Tommy Bahama or going to the club. I don't know either of those worlds, but that was the fun wardrobe I got to wear.
Absolutely. So if anything, doing a different movie means you don't have to wear like 1,000 pounds of armor and like carry a really big gun around.
Less sweat stains. Yeah.
All right. So Chad, thank you so much. Again, everybody, make sure you check out all the Sniper movies. And because like I said, going way back from Tom's original to now, we got Sniper No Nation. So this is John signing off with the Action-FLIX with Chad Michael Collins, the action star, action legacy that is the Sniper franchise. And I'm telling everybody, especially in this day and age, be nice until it's time to not be nice. Take it easy, everybody.
We only got one shot left. How fast can you hotwire this car? We can slam it in reverse. We can ram our way out of here.
We aren't gonna win this one, son. Gimme. Gimme. No matter what happens, just stay strong. Hear me?
I should have seen this coming. Sorry, Dad.
Go, Brandon. Go.
We're in this together.